All right. So if everybody can hear me. Okay. Good afternoon to all of the attendees from different parts of the world who have logged on today to listen to this webinar on the topic Entrepreneurship Education, Practical Resources from the Start DSP project, presented today by Angela Hernandez and Ileana Bakuri. But before beginning the webinar, we will give a brief presentation on the Ibero-American University Foundation, FUNIBER, and its ongoing work in training and educating professionals around the world. So what is FUNIBER? FUNIBER, or the Ibero-American University Foundation, is an institution founded in Barcelona, Spain, with more than 25 years of outstanding experience in online education. It promotes a robust scholarship program that allows students to pursue more than 150 doctoral, master's, specialization, and bachelor's degrees, developed in a 100% online format in 22 areas of knowledge. FUNIBER has benefited more than 200,000 people internationally, allowing them to access quality education through the benefit of a scholarship. Our foundation is present in more than 30 countries and has agreements with more than 60 internationally renowned universities, allowing students to obtain dual European and Latin American degrees. FUNIBER has benefited. FUNIBER also establishes partnerships with institutions and companies to promote access to quality university education for the entire population. And we're going to put some information about FUNIBER in the chat if you're interested in finding out more about scholarships, degree programs. So that is the end of the FUNIBER presentation. Now that we know more about FUNIBER and the educational contributions it makes to society, we will move on to the webinar. So this webinar is organized in the framework of Erasmus Days. The hashtag Erasmus Days are an international 6-day celebration of the Erasmus Plus program. During these days, people throughout the world are invited to come together and either organize or participate in events that celebrate the projects and opportunities created by Erasmus Plus. For students, teachers, trainers, professionals, and more generally, all citizens, the Erasmus Days represent a unique moment to promote the multitude of benefits that result from the program. In 2025, the 9th edition of the hashtag Erasmus Days will take place this week from October 13th through the 18th. So this webinar is on Start DSP, our Erasmus Plus project, and it will be led by Angela Hernandez and Ileana Bakuri. Ileana is an international relations specialist with academic credentials from the University of Peloponnese and a minor in entrepreneurship management from DEREE, the American College of Greece. She blends political insight with an entrepreneurial mindset, approaching every project with focus, flexibility, and a passion for making things happen. Her career spans both the public and private sectors, from advisory work at the Ministry of Migration and Asylum to executing data-driven campaigns in the iGaming industry. In the fast-paced world of EU-funded projects, her goal is to bring structure to complexity and momentum to strategy. Our other presenter, Angela Hernandez, is an international project officer with a master's in arts, culture, and society from Erasmus University Rotterdam. With over 10 years of experience across education and cultural sectors, she brings together a background in management and arts education to design and lead projects with social impact. Her career spans scholarship program management in Colombia, research on cultural institutions, educational programs for children, and coordination of Erasmus Plus higher education initiatives such as Start DSP and ESG for SMES. She's committed to advancing the role of universities and cultural institutions as agents of social change, sustainability, and knowledge democratization. So now I'm about to hand it over to them. But before that, we would like to introduce the toolbox and provide a little bit more information. So the Start DSP virtual toolbox has been developed to provide practice-oriented resources and guidelines for university staff and educators with the goal of enhancing the quality and impact of entrepreneurship education. And now we'll show you a video which provides a brief overview of the toolbox and instructions for how to use it. Just one moment. All right. All right, now I'm gonna play.
In a world where the business landscape is constantly changing, future business leaders will need to know how to adapt quickly. But many European universities are struggling to keep up with the fast pace of emerging digital technologies and environmental sustainability efforts. That's why Start DSP has developed and gathered powerful tools that inspire university staff and educators to elevate the quality and impact of entrepreneurship education, empowering students and enriching the entire academic community. Drawing from 3 of the European Union's competence frameworks, the University Toolbox offers a variety of dynamic resources to enhance the quality and impact of entrepreneurial education. The Toolbox is a virtual one-stop shop where university staff and academics can access training materials, assessment tools, and sustainability frameworks. The tools are organized by purpose with a convenient drop-down menu, covering areas like entrepreneurial awareness, institutional commitment, faculty motivation, fostering an entrepreneurial mindset, planning and financing, and sustainable impact-driven entrepreneurship. Each tool comes with a clear statement of purpose, a description of benefits, and a list of prerequisites. You'll also find step-by-step instructions for implementation and the expected outcomes, making it easy to apply directly in your institution. Some tools contain materials for direct classroom use. The Sustainable Business Model Canvas allows students to envision businesses that not only have economic value, but also environmental and social value. Other tools, like the Grant Application Roadmap, contain step-by-step instructions to provide academics, researchers, or students with resources to access the funding they need to launch their ideas. The Entrepreneurial KPI Dashboard is designed to help institutions assess their own educational initiatives with customizable KPIs and a structured yet flexible framework. With the Start DSP virtual toolbox, the impact is transformative. We are empowering university staff and academics to lead and grow their institution's entrepreneurial journeys, shaping the innovators of tomorrow. Our project continues until 2026, creating resources that last for years to come. Join us and let's shape a future that is digital, sustainable, and profitable.
All right, now we're going to turn it over to Angela and Eliana, who will be giving the presentation.
Thank you so much, Luke, for the introduction and for showing also the video. I think it really recaps what we are trying to explain a bit further during this webinar. So I'm gonna share with you also a brief presentation about the project. And as Luke said, I'm Angel Hernandez, and I'm the project coordinator of this project, which started this month 2 years ago. So it's very nice that we are just also celebrating, let's say, 2 years of the project. And the idea of today is to show you a bit about the project, the toolbox in more detail, like how we build it, and also what are the upcoming features in the project. So the project basically, we are 6 partners working and collaborating in this project. I working for ACU. We have 2 universities, that is the Universidad Europea del Atlántico and also Metropolitan College. And then there are other 3 institutions that they have their own, also their own expertise bringing to the project, which is Momentum, EUAI, and the VisionWorks, or European E-Learning Institute. Sorry, we keep talking in acronyms, and then it's like how I know them. And as a very important partner, an associated partner, is also Funiver. So we all together bring our expertise and work together in the project. I will show you more a bit what is the project about and what are the resources that we are creating. But here is just to show you like a brief description of each partner, that we are also coming from different countries, and that also help us to build like a stronger consortium. And also, we also think that our results are also built up not only on one country expertise, but also more in a European level. I think if you also go to our website, you can also find each partner. I don't want to spend too much time here, because the idea is to present more like the tools and what we are doing. But here you can see also like a brief summary of us. So the idea of Start DSP is like the DSP, keeping up with the acronyms, is Start Digital, Sustainable, and Profitable. And the main point of the project is to operationalize the 3 European frameworks, which is GreenCom, DigCom, and EntreCom frameworks, to accelerate the impact of higher education institutions in entrepreneurship education and the digital twin transition. So the project, or how we found to start the project was the need to address complex digital trends. Like now, universities and in general programs should teach like social and sustainable, environmental sustainable business, how to build them. Should prepare students and future entrepreneurs for rapidly changing and uncertainty also in the world. And we also found that higher education institutions face resource constraints and also struggle to adapt teaching with all the changes that are going on, and how quickly they are also changing. And and the idea is also that there is a lack also of pedagogical approaches that integrate like management, but also transversal skills, digital, social, and ecological competences. And that's where it's really important for us that we keep in mind all the frameworks together through the development of the project. How we address these needs, then what we did is first did a desk and field research, then based on that we built a toolbox, which is the main point of the webinar, a competence framework, and a curriculum that was translated or is going to be translated in an online course, an assessment tool that help entrepreneurs or educators or students to evaluate their own ideas of business and how digital, sustainable, and profitable they are, and a knowledge hub, which is the main resource that will host all these resources and also will foster a peer-to-peer interaction. The field research was like where our starting point, let's say, and what we wanted to do is to identify the gaps in the entrepreneurship educators. So we interview some entrepreneurial educators and entrepreneurs also to examine how sustainable and digital readiness is incorporated into curricula, and also how entrepreneurs are incorporating sustainable practices in their digital business models. And also we wanted to evaluate the awareness they have about these competence frameworks and how, if they even are using them in their, either in their courses or in their businesses. So we interview educators that have at least 3 years experience teaching entrepreneurship, and also entrepreneurs that had a successful digital business model. And based on that, I brought some quotes that we have from the research, from the interviews that we did. For example, an educator said that that what we have to do, or they have to do as educators, is to convey to entrepreneurs in sustainability as a space of opportunity and not as an obligation or burnout, because that's also like the idea to see the opportunities that we have in building sustainable business models. And also the entrepreneurs, what they really find valuable is to not focus on the theory, but how they can find practical examples and practical also resources, so that they can keep learning and reshaping and developing further their businesses. So I think here it's also like a summary of what we found from the educators and from the entrepreneurs, and this is first reflected in the toolbox. We find that there is gaps between, for example, in green digital skills, and also what is really ethical leadership, what is experience learning, how they can find experience learning, and also anticipatory thinking, system thinking, and for example, how they can also be updated about policy standards in literacy. So in the toolbox, what we did is to create, and also as you saw in the video, is to address these gaps and these challenges that are facing in higher education institutions, and how to serve those purposes, how to foster entrepreneurial mindset, how to foster also entrepreneurial awareness, how can keep staff motivated and giving incentives or recognition, and how can this continuous improvement in entrepreneurial education how can we foster this also? So as you see in the video, this is like the drop down that was also described, and then we will find 24 tools in total, so that address these 6 main challenges, or these main purposes. Sorry, not challenges, but purposes. And all of them is also in the alignment of the project goal, which is as you saw before, like being profitable, sustainable, and digital. So here is just a bit of description. So as I said before, how we can engage educators, how we can foster an entrepreneurial culture in the campus, how we can help leaders to identify barriers to faculty engagement, and keep just entrepreneurship education being innovative and updated to what's going on in the current trends. So here I'm just showing an example, but Ileana will show in detail a tool so that you can have a better understanding on how they work and how you can use them. But the idea is that they're practical, and that you can in each tool find the purpose, what are the benefits of using it, and what are the outcomes that you can expect after using the toolbox. So this is how you see it also on the website. I just brought an example about one of those, and then so here you have the structures, like what you have to do to download, and how to choose which. For example, this one is about I'm sorry, I forgot the name. This is about entrepreneurial competency assessment tool. So the idea is that here you can assess either an educator and a student, a staff member of the university, in some of the competencies that are described in the Entrecom, which is the framework of entrepreneurship for the European Union. And we give you some scenarios, like how you can, based on this scenario and the answers of the person you are assessing, see if has what level of these competences this person has. If it's a foundation, intermediate, or an advanced level. So this is like the one of examples, but as I show you, I cannot show you the 24 tools in the webinar, but the idea is that you can explore them, and Ileana will tell us more about one specific tool. So what's coming also for Start DSP project? So you can already see and explore the tools and see them already online. But we will launch soonish this month the Knowledge Hub. In the Knowledge Hub, you will host more open educational resources in multiple languages, such as videos, articles, podcasts, case studies that, again, are all about how to make entrepreneurship education digital, profitable, and sustainable. And the idea is that in this hub, there will be also peer interaction, so that anyone that is interested in learning and sharing experience could do it there. We will also have a course, which is a 10 modules course, and it's equivalent to 5 ECTS. And it will be available as a self-study course, but also as educational material that can be used by educators. And this will also be in multiple language. In this case, will be in English, Spanish, German, and Greek. Most of our materials will be there. Sorry, I go back, but the toolbox will be also available in those languages. Now you only find it in English, but we are also in the process of translating all the tools, and you will find it in these languages as well. And the assessment tool, the idea of the assessment tool is that it's anyone can assess business model, ideas, curriculums for DSP readiness, and the tool will generate a downloadable PDF that reports like the performance breakdowns and improvement strategies in these three in these three items, like digital, sustainable, and profitable. So I think that's like a very brief, let's say, summary of what the project is about, who is involved, and what are the main resources that we are creating. All of the resources will be free, and you can will access all of them soonish. So for now, the toolbox is the one that we are, let's say, promoting right now. Thank you so much for joining us today. And here you can also find the email, for example, of the project, which is startdsp.acu.org. And if you can also follow us in our social media, in LinkedIn, X, and also in YouTube. You will find also this webinar after too. So I think that's my intervention so far here. So then I will, Ileana will continue now explaining like one of the tools, one of the fun ones, let's say.
Thank you very much, Angela. Let me share my screen. Okay, one moment. So now that we've heard about the project, it is time to go to the more fun parts, I would say. So everyone, welcome, and thank you for being here in this Erasmus Days webinar for Start DSP. Today I'm going to be presenting you one of the tools from the toolbox that Angela presented to you. And with the Metropolitan College, we developed this one, so I'm really happy to be showing it. But before we get into the presentation, I would like to briefly introduce you to our organization as well. So, Metropolitan College is the largest and most comprehensive college for university studies in Greece, with 12 faculties and over 100 programs across 8 campuses at major cities. We serve more than 25,000 students in state-of-the-art facilities, and we are proud to be recognized by the Greek Ministry of Education and to belong to the Compostela group of universities, giving us a truly international footprint. With that being said, I am now more excited to introduce to you CSI Failed Startups Division, a new investigation-based learning tool designed to develop students and aspiring entrepreneurs to explore one of the most powerful but yet overlooked sources of learning in entrepreneurship, that one of failure. This tool reimagines startup failure not entirely as a post-mortem, but as a live investigation. Students are given a real failed startup and just 1 or 2 source materials, usually an article or a blog, and from there they act as entrepreneurial detectives and build a full analysis. We have created this tool with the aim to make it playful, reflective, and grounded in real business thinking. So, here is the premise. A startup has collapsed. All that's left is its name and maybe a blog post or a post-mortem report. That's all the students will get. Their mission is to investigate what happened, why did it fail, who was affected, could the failure have been prevented? This storytelling approach immediately engages students because they aren't just reading a case, they're solving one. Our goal was to make this tool immersive and learner-driven. So, why study startup failures? We often celebrate success stories in entrepreneurship, but statistically, the vast majority of startups fail, about 90%, depending on the source. So, what's missing in most programs is a structured way to learn from those failures. Our tool helps learners analyze the missteps, overlooked signals, and human stories behind startup collapses. It turns failure into a form of data that is insight-rich, reflective, and far more valuable than many realize. Now, the core learning goals of this tool are both cognitive and emotional. The tool builds critical thinking, it helps students spot patterns and red flags, it encourages them to question assumptions, and it cultivates ethical and empathetic awareness. Ultimately, it prepares learners for the emotional and strategic realities of starting a real-world venture. So, the tool's materials include 3 printable resources: the student investigation template, a structured guide for researching and building a case file, the evaluation rubric used to assess the quality of student thinking and reporting, and the open discussion forum, which supports rich and reflective group dialogue. All of this is both digital but also fully printable and adaptable across disciplines. Now, the tool's flow is simple and replicable. Instructors will provide the name of a failed startup and one relevant article. Students then investigate independently or in pairs or in teams, and then they build a case file using the provided template. They present their findings or engage in a structured discussion, and then they reflect individually or as a class on the key insights. This format can work for one-off sessions or multi-week projects as well. This tool is highly adaptable and can be used in university classrooms, in innovation courses as it enriches entrepreneurship, in workshops as it can be a great icebreaker or a deep dive reflection tool, in pre-incubator or accelerator programs as it trains founders to spot the blind spots, and also in career development sessions as it fosters failure literacy, which means the ability to analyze and grow from setbacks. Moving on, the student case file includes a profile of the startup's background and timeline, a diagnosis of failure, in other words, the root cause, red flag identification, ethical or team-related dilemmas, and lessons that can be applied forward. It's not just about, the tool is not just about what went wrong, it's about how students interpret it. Now, regarding the assessment, the instructors will assess student work using a detailed rubric that doesn't reward perfection, it rewards insight, effort, and depth. Students are evaluated on how complete their case file will be, the depth of their research, the clarity of their diagnosis, their ability to think creatively about alternatives, and how well they communicate their findings. It's flexible enough to be used with writing, slides, or even verbal debriefs. We also equip facilitators with discussion prompts with questions like, what killed this startup? Could it have survived? What would the student ask the founder? Would they back this person again in another venture? These questions encourage empathy, storytelling, and scenario analysis, and in our opinion, the kind of thinking real founders have to do. So, why this works? Here what makes CSI Failed Startups Division effective. It uses real-world and relatable cases. It builds transferable skills, for example, research, synthesis, and analysis. It requires no expensive tools or digital platforms, and it reframes failure as a learning opportunity. It's built to be accessible, flexible, and deeply engaging. So, to conclude, our aim is to prepare future entrepreneurs not just to launch a venture, but also to learn from the falls along the way. Thank you very much. That was it. That was my presentation for the 24th tool. It's actually the last tool we made. And let me show you just briefly now how you can access the web page. For example, here is the tool. It has a description, instructions, outcomes, and very easily, this is the digital guide for the facilitators. You can download it. I think it's fun, it's short, and very efficient. And then we have the materials. These are the ventures with one blog article. We provide facilitators with them as well. Then we have the investigation template that I showed you in my presentation, the evaluation report, and the open discussion file. And it's all conceptualized, as you see, because here in MC, we like to make things that way. So thank you very, very much. That was it for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much. This was very informative. I hope people have things to take away. Now we can move on to some questions. So if anyone watching live has questions they want to ask, you can put those in the chat. But if not, I can start with one. So for Ileana, on this tool specifically, I am curious more about like what students can take away from the tool, and then specifically how it connects to like digital, sustainable, and profitable, and how you're ensuring that it is relevant to like entrepreneurship education.
Thank you, Luke, very much for the question. So to begin, to start answering from the last part of your question, right now we are in the phase in the project where we are piloting all the tools. So each partner has the responsibility to be in contact with different stakeholders, either professors or other experts on entrepreneurship from different organizations, schools, or institutions within or outside their organization, where they are testing the tools live and will provide feedback for us on how relevant they are, the results, and then we can proceed into maybe modifying them, changing something, or leaving it as is if they're efficient and really valuable. Now, for the students, I believe that this tool that we showed you is a really good and fun way to integrate students on entrepreneurial thinking, not only from an academic perspective, but from an active perspective where they will lead and they will themselves recognize successes, failures, and adapt to different situations in the different concepts that they will receive from their instructors. I don't know if there was, I think it was something else also that was in your question that I didn't answer. If you could repeat it.
I think that was mostly all. Maybe how it connects to the three frameworks of digital, sustainable, and profitable.
Well, it's profitable in the long run. I think we can produce, in quotation, of course, young minds to the outside world after their academic journey, where they will be more ready to launch their ideas and their ventures. It is accessible for all. As Angela mentioned earlier, this project there's no charge for the tools, no charge for anything. So it is accessible towards a better future, if we want to say it that way, for anyone who wants it, for anyone who is interested. And it is also a digitalized tool, which shows that even with limited resources, you can make something, again, accessible through digital means very, very easily.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It looks like we have a few questions in the chat. The first one, I guess just whichever of you wants to answer this one, it is, as a teacher, is it appropriate to use these tools in teams, or is it better for individual use?
Maybe I can go ahead. So I think it depends on the tool. So you can use them there. And if you go to the description, usually that's what we wanted to give you in the description, so that you can see what is needed, how you can use it, and what are the different ways that educators can use the tool. So I think it depends on the tool. And also, I think the best way is to choose the tools depending, like using the drop down, like what is the purpose of the tool, where they want to use it. There are some, for example, that it's for the educator itself to integrate sustainable and digital readiness in their own curricula. So it will be more like a personal, let's say, way to use it. But there are some that they can be used in teams or with students themselves. And I think also our goal is that we also want to encourage these tools to be used like in entrepreneurial centers, like that is not only for the the formal education settings, let's say like as a classroom, but that they can also be used by entrepreneurial centers, or like as Eliana said before, like this career guide is like sections of the university, or any section of the university or institution within the university that wants to foster entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm.
Sounds great. And I know, if I remember correctly, there are also tools for evaluating the institution and their preparedness, right?
Yes. And I think the idea, we wanted to make the tools like that they shape like the entrepreneurship from a very broad perspective. For example, there are ones that how to shape the spaces, like how you can create a phrase or using AI, for example, and use your own values, your own mission, your own vision of the institution, and then print it, and so that it's like a nudging, let's say, entrepreneurship in a space, in a physical space. So that's like the idea is that it could be very used in different settings.
Great. And we have another question for Angela specifically. What is the main emphasis of the project? Profitability, digitalization, or sustainability?
That's a very good question. So yeah, I think that we want to do is to balance the three of them, because we think that that's how business should be built nowadays, that they should consider the three of these aspects, let's say. And I mean, for example, with profitability, we don't think only about like business models that I mean, we consider NGOs, any kind of business that is not about like getting profit, but that is stable enough in the market, so to say. So that's what we meant also with being profitable. And I think the idea is that, as I said before, to merge these three frameworks, so that sustainability is also seen as part of the impact that companies want to do, so that there is economic impact and also sustainable and social, let's say, impact. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Another one, are the materials in the tool shown? I guess that's the CSI's field startup division, but I guess in general for all the tools, are the materials shown copyrighted? And can I share the materials with colleagues at the university?
Yeah, sure. That's the idea. Like it's we have all the common Creative Commons in all tools. So then it's the idea is that you can use them and share them, and that's our main goal actually. That it's shared and it's open. It's an open resource. So you can use it and without. The only thing, of course, is that you cannot do it and then make profit of it, because the idea is that it keeps open for everyone.
Awesome. Another one, I can probably answer this actually. Where can we find the access to the whole package toolbox? I think it was in the chat earlier, but maybe if we can put it in the chat again, that would be good. I think it's just startdsp.eu, right?
Exactly, yes.
So, pretty easy to access there. Another question, I guess for either of you, if you want to answer, can you give us a practical example of how to use the tool from the university?
A practical example. Well, for the tool that we showed you today, I think that in a classroom, you can easily use the tool for form teams. In my opinion, teams are better than individual work, because different ideas emerge, and brainstorming and people working together, you always come up with a better result, or a creative one. That's my opinion, though. You can easily use the tool within the classroom, make the teams, and work with the students even, or give it as homework, and or make it a weekly thing of your classroom, or create, I don't know, mini competitions. It's a creative tool to be used creatively and reward students not with grades, with something even more valuable, with the knowledge, with critical thinking, with competencies.
And then the tools are not meant to replace like existing curriculum, right? They're sort of meant to add on, complement the curriculum.
Yes,
Yes.
you're right. Like the idea is that this additional material that it can be used. And as I said before, we are also building a curriculum, like a curriculum, a course. So that will be also available soon. And it can be either be a self-study course, or it will be also material that educators can use for their own courses. So, and complement it with the tools. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And I don't see any more questions in the chat, but why don't we just conclude with sort of reiterating how, like, the next steps for the project, how people can stay connected, and if they're looking to use these tools, maybe how they can contact members of the team if they need any help with that.
Yeah, that's a great way to finish. I think, like the first thing will be just to follow us, like to keep, to search for the project website. That was already shared on the chat, and there you will find everything that we will continue working on and publishing. So the knowledge hub, the assessment tool, and everything that's coming will be there. Also, in the we will also have some multiplier events at the end of the project that will happen next year. So if you follow also the institutions that are part of the project, so you will also get to know, and also on our social media. So if you want to take part also of the events at the end. And I think and about like how you can contact us, I think the best way will be maybe use the project like email, which is mine in this case, which is startsp@acu.org, because it's like a general email for the project, in case you want to provide any feedback, for example, about the toolbox, or you want to get in touch and get to know more about the project. That could be a way. But also in the project website, you will find the partners that are involved, and you will the link will forward you directly to the partners in case you want to contact one of the partners directly. And I don't know if you saw, but also in each tool at the end, you will have also the partner that created the tool. So in case you want to contact one of them directly, you can find them also there in the tool. So I don't know if I summarize everything what you just asked me, Luke. But yeah, that's to keep in touch. And also in the Knowledge Hub, I think that's the main goal also, that we will have this peer-to-peer interaction as soon as it's launched, and that you can join and also share your experience, entrepreneurial experience, or as educators or as entrepreneurs also there, to have like a shared space.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We put the email in the chat if anyone wants to reach out. And then again, the website is just start-dsp.eu. And that's in the chat as well. Many thanks to Angela and Ileana for their clear presentation on the topic. Thank you to everyone who attended, especially thank you to those who participated in the webinar with your great questions. In a few days, you will receive a short questionnaire to evaluate the webinar. And we'll remind you that if you are interested in furthering your education in this area, you can access the link that will appear in the chat, and which we will leave in the video description, where you can find more information about different programs promoted by FUNIBER and our scholarships. For more information about our project, like I said, visit startdsp.eu. If you prefer, you can always contact any of our offices. You will have the link in the YouTube chat. So I think that's all. Thank you all so much for participating, attending.
Thank you so much. I just
Thank you,
wanted to
Luke.
say a last comment, sorry, that it's important, and I think that the material will be available in different languages. So I think that's also
Yes.
like a very nice or important thing to say, that we will have like multiple languages, and yeah, just to have a diversity there.
Perfect.
course.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Luke. Thank you,
Yeah.
Angela. And thanks everybody for being here.
Here. Yes, agree. Thank you so much.
Bye.